Alright, what up YouTube? It's the Nights in here back with another video, and this video is gonna be about, like I said, taking risks, right? You can either risk being the same, or you can risk, you know, you can risk yourself for change, right? I think that either way you gotta take a risk with life. I think that life is very much like life. You cannot sit on the fence. Like I said, it's either you in the game or you go on the bleachers, and it's like if you're not in the game, you have no say over what's going on, what goes on, right? Like the thing about life is scary. It's like it's really a game. Like it's really like a whole GTA simulation. It's kind of interesting that a lot of people don't see it that way, right? And a lot of people do, and like I said, they really take it to their advantage, and they're making it happen. Like I said, they really standing on business, and they making their dreams come true. And I think that's very inspirational to see amongst like just people, whether it's the same race, same gender, really no matter what, right? A lot of people is really doing their thing, and I think that's very inspirational in that sense. But of course, they would never made it unless they took the risk, or even just the initial, just the first step, right? I think that in a lot of my life, or even just a lot of people's life, that life is very risky, and for a natural state or for a natural life, it's very comfortable, right? If you want to do better with your life, you have to take a risk. Like you have to risk being made fun of, you gotta risk being talked about, you gotta risk being an ass. And that's like something I know in my heart that I really like. I hate with a passion. I hate people talking about me. That's why I'm the quiet person, because I don't let people know what I be doing. I hate people knowing my business. Like I have a true hatred for like people really for real, like knowing my business, know what I be doing and what I be like, what type of plans I got. Like I hate it with a passion. But if I don't express it outwardly, I'm gonna feel like a terrible human being. Like I feel like shit when I don't be who I am and just be who I am to my core, right? So that's the risk that I have to take. Now, of course, I may not like the consequences that or the side effects that might happen because I do this, but this is what my heart is telling me to do, and that's what I need to do, right? I can do this, or I can remain the same and remain in the same spot, and that's what I won't do. Like I said, I have a bad. I'd rather die than to remain in the same spot forever. And like some people accept that. Like some people want that. Some people can live and be okay with living a regular life. Let's say it don't gotta be nothing so grandiose. This is just something regular. Like people have no problem with being less of themselves. Some people have no problem with not putting their best foot forward. Some people are accepted. They accept, not wanting to pick up responsibility or do what they need to do to at least help themselves get by. And it bothers me to the core, like I said, because that's all my life. That's something I used to do, but also I see it in my family. I see it in both sides of my family. I see it I see it sometimes. I see it in my peers. Some people I see at work, and it's quite heartbreaking, because a lot of people, I think the sad thing about life is, or people that can see very good, in the sense where, like I said, some people are very perceptive, and they can really see when someone has like a spark of light in them, that if they really took it to the next level, they can really change their life, but they don't. Like that's how I am, right? A lot of people believe in me. I'm very mediocre of a person. Naturally, when I was young, I was always just trying to be normal. I was trying to fit in, but it never worked. And like I said, it still don't work, and that's why I don't do it no more. But every now and then, I might fall in the habit of trying to fit in, and like I said, like now I'm starting to become very what's the word? I'm a laid back person, but I'm starting to become very not obnoxious. I be feeling like I'm obnoxious, but I'm not though. But like I'm become very expressive in myself, right? But people have like no spirit, and like I think that's probably what it is. Like people really don't have no spirit and really trying to do better with their own life. I think people just want to seem like they are. I think that's the whole thing about social media, is that they just want to seem like they are, and they just want to and front. I think that I'm done front. I can't front no more. Like I fronted my whole life trying to act like I was okay and I was normal, and it's like it's draining. Like I said, you will really grow to hate yourself when you look at things like that. And I mean, a lot of people do hate themselves, and I think that I got tired of hating myself. It's just not a good feeling. Like I said, you with yourself all day, so you just gotta learn how to stop, worrying about people's perceptions of you. Like that's something I'm still getting over right now, and that's the risky part, right? Because you don't know what can happen at the end of that other spectrum, right? And I mean, realistically, it is what it is, right? But yeah, people are like content with just being the same, and I don't get it. I really don't. And I think the reason they content with being the same is that there's, like I said, there's a lot of risk in it, and it got to do with them stepping out their comfort zone and just being in their comfort zone, right? It's like people love their comfort zone. People love the bad things they deal with in their regular life. They don't ever want to, you know, solve their problems, right? Like I said, a lot of people's problems will be solved. A lot of people's problems got simple answers. I think Taekwondo said something like, a lot of people are special, but their problems not. Like I said, people problems, the solution to people problems is everywhere. But people want to keep turning the blind eye to their own problems. They want to act like it don't exist, and they want to inherently keep suffering. And I think that's very heartbreaking, because I see it in myself at times. I see it in myself and how I interact with certain things, or how I used to act. Because I think that like I said, slowly and slowly, like I said, every day I'm working on that and really getting rid of my own perceptive problems, where like in the sense where I'm self-sabotaging, let's say that. But I see it in my brother, I see it in my siblings, I see it at work with people, and like I said, it's just, I don't know, it's very heartbreaking. So yeah, so you can really realistically, that's the only goal. Like you can either, like you have to like if you want to improve your life, it's like the risk, you're going to have to take a risk eventually, and you cannot let it discourage you. I think that the moment you let it discourage you, it's like I said, you are both, like I said, you self-sabotage, and it's like you literally have to, you literally gotta drown out all the noise that is, even your mind is saying back to you when you try to take a risk and just improve your life. And you just gotta you gotta really move up, like move ahead, like a steam train. Like you just gotta just punch through everything, every little doubt, every little voice, every little opinion, and you really gotta keep moving forward. But yeah, just go back to that one point about people just really like wanting to be the same, and it's not, and it's like I said earlier, it's not about like doing like this super great thing. It's just like, I think the minimal thing. I think that some people, like I said, of course everybody don't have like this grand purpose and I'm supposed to help people and none of that. Some people, they still come short with people around them. They are very, they not themselves to them. They are not they full self. They're not responsible people. They're not very helpful people. They're crooked people, and all they want to do is use people around them. And they know they hurt people around them from how they act, and people don't ever want to change. I think people be stuck in their own mind and just me, and they just, people are just selfish, right? People are inherently like selfish to a fault, and that selfishness causes them to get stuck, and that selfishness increases their comfort, like, in their own little box, in their own little world. And like I said, that stops people from ever improving with their own life as well, is that they have zero accountability for themselves, and all that like for nothing. Like I think a lot of people waste their lives with that, and I think that's sad. And like I said, a lot of this, like I think a lot of life, when we start to understand and we start to grow in perspective, it's very heartbreaking at first. Like it's like people trying to wake somebody up when you first wake up, right? Like in the Matrix, right? Like I said, everybody trying to, when you wake up, you should never try to wake nobody up. You can't force nobody to open their eyes and change their life. I think that's one thing I see at work. It's like people be like so with their head in their ass, and they be so concerned about the wrong things, and they be consumed with just the wrong stuff. And you can tell that their life is the way it is because of how they think. And some people, like I said, some people will get it. Maybe they get it 10 years from now. Maybe they get it next week. Maybe they get it never. But it's sad to see that, especially with people with a lot of potential, right? So, yeah. If y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you.